had a good amount of success thus far in my career, and I'm still very early and still kind of green to the industry. I've only been seriously acting since 2015, 2016. Some of you may see what I post on IG or like just see my behind the scenes and the life with me videos and think that I have it made and that it's so easy. That's just not the case. Here's how I almost didn't make it as an actor. Let's start at the very beginning with college BFA auditions. Now, I don't know how it is now, but like back in the day, if you got into a renowned BFA program and then went to get your MFA or something like that, you were considered a serious actor. So that was my desire. Not only did I spend my junior and senior year in productions and taking dance and vocal classes and lessons, and also applying for colleges in general, I also was traveling around auditioning for all of these schools, hoping to get into a program that I loved. I went to the Chicago Unified auditions, and what that is basically 3 or 4 days in Chicago in February where all of these schools come together and you can go from room to room auditioning for all of these programs. And it's great, but not all the schools that you want to apply to are there, so you still have to travel around. So I went to Carnegie Mellon, I auditioned for Michigan, Pace, all of these top schools, and I was rejected from all of them except one. So I got my BFA from the university in South Carolina, and it was a very small program. It was respected at the time, and I loved the professors that were there at that time. More on that later. There's a lot going on there. During college, I had representation at a very small agency, though I really had like no idea what I was doing, and I spent a lot of time in my freshman and sophomore year trying to figure that out. And I thankfully found this resource that I will preach about forever. It's called SMFA, Self-Management for Actors by Gillespie. It's literally my textbook that I still use to this day, 6 years later. It's just an incredible resource, and I'll link it down below so that you can see for yourself. Fast forward to senior year. Senior year in most BFA programs is like the year. The students go to what is called Showcase in New York City, where we perform in front of agents and managers and casting directors in the hopes of getting signed to a really great agency and moving to New York City and working on Broadway. So at the start of senior year, I was working 3 jobs to help pay for tuition. I was working at a job on campus in the outdoor center, renting out kayaks and stuff. I was working at Panera Bread, shout out to them. I was working as a nude model in the art department for all of the art classes. So when I received a callback for Queen Sugar, I had just been offered a role to work with the Texas Shakespeare Company that summer as Rosaline in Love's Labor's Lost, Marianne and Tartuffe, and some musical that they were doing that I was an ensemble for. And I was like, bet, this is where I live. Shakespeare was my heart and soul at the time, and I was so excited to do that. I hadn't fully accepted yet because I had received a callback for Queen Sugar, which was my favorite show. I had sent in my self-tape for it 1 week earlier. They told me for the callback that I needed to be in New Orleans to meet with the producers, the director, and do a chemistry read in 3 days. I kid you not. I had an ear infection. I had $32 in my account because I just paid the second half of my tuition. I just paid rent. I just put gas in my car. Like, I had $32 in my account because payday was like 5 days later. And not to mention, Showcase was the same exact day and time as my callback. The thoughts that went through my head were not very healthy. I was thinking, well, this must be a mistake. I obviously can't go. Like, I have to go to Showcase. This is what I've been working for the past 4 years. Like, this is it. I already have a job offer. There's no way I'm gonna get the role anyway. Like, it's a callback. How? I was scrambling around, trying to decide what to do, trying to figure out how to get on plane. After some encouragement and funds from my parents and family and friends, I was able to buy a ticket and I decided to get on the plane. So I flew to New Orleans the day of the callback, said, it to Showcase. Something was telling me to go to New Orleans. That's what I did. I spent all the money everybody gave me on the plane tickets, and then I spent $16 on my taxi to get to the studio because I had no idea what Uber was yet at the time. We're talking 2018, beginning of 2018. I didn't know. I got to the callback 3 hours early. I was talking to the taxi driver about why I was in New Orleans, and he told me that I'm gonna book it. Don't worry about it. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But that's what he said to me. I got out, and that was that. So while I'm here, 3 hours hours early, waiting, there's nobody here, I'm in the waiting room. I still am feeling my ear infection, my ears were popping terribly on the plane, I have a raspy nasally voice, like I just got crust everywhere is what I feel like. I look terrible, but this is what it is. I'm nervous and I'm exhausted. But I did the callback. They called back me and one other girl. And then I screen tested with Nick Ash, who plays Micah on the show. 30 minutes later, I was told that I had booked the role and that I needed to stay in New Orleans for the fitting. My first episodes would start shooting the week after. So not only did I book the role, but I booked the role for 9 episodes. It was truly a miracle. I can't even explain it. And it makes me a bit emotional thinking about it. You know, I wouldn't be in LA or where I am today if I hadn't gotten on that plane. And I wouldn't have gotten on that plane if it wasn't for my now husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, encouraging me, my mom and dad telling me I have to go, my best friend Kennedy telling me I have to go, my really good friend Sydney, who being my reader and like encouraging me throughout the whole entire process. Like, I wouldn't be here today without them. So I thank all of you if you're watching, and I love you. This is me encouraging you to take that leap of faith. Whatever it is, you got it. Just do it. And always trust yourself and trust your gut and go off of your instincts, because they're usually right. If it's for you, then it's for you and you're gonna get it. But you gotta meet the universe halfway. If you enjoyed the content in this video, please give it a big thumbs up and let me know if there's anything this week that you're gonna take charge of. Anything that you've been putting off that you're scared of doing, you're just gonna say f it and do it. I'd love to know. Yeah, I'll see y'all Thursday after next. Bye.